The Rap Roundtable.
It's Magic 2 week officially here at the Rap Roundtable. So, you know, we have to spin back. We're not going to make y'all wait. I know we said that after the live that we'd make y'all wait until we did the reaction on the lunch hour, but then this guy decides to drop. I'm not like this guy's just doing a social media rollout, this guy being Nas. So I'm like, you know what? If he's going to do the rollout, then we're going to do this rollout with him. We rolling out with him. You know what I mean? Why not? It's your boy Jarv here alongside the homie Mace. Mace couldn't join us for the live. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to make a little time to tap in during Magic 2 week and really give some takes. So, Macito, good to have you back first and foremost, bro.
Yes, sir. Good to be back.
The narrative I'm seeing on the internet right now is multiple platforms are saying it, multiple prominent voices on Twitter is saying it, that 5 albums in 3 years is truly unprecedented. You know, I'm seeing some of his fans say that. I go to these live streams and I'm in the chats. Y'all see me in the chats. I peruse, and I'm seeing some of the fans saying it. It's either fans just giving flowers and saying the GOAT debate is over, or they saying it's unprecedented, unheard of, never before seen. My question for the chat, the people on the internet, and you, Mace, is it unprecedented, or is Nas in fact still being underrated?
Interesting. You want to open up with that take, Jarv?
You want to hear what I gotta say? Okay.
Yeah, this is an interesting question
the NFL
because I have a take. And actually, let me start with my take because I might throw a little bit of craziness in there because is it unprecedented? I think it depends on what angle you're looking from, right? Okay. And I think people are taking the wrong angle in general, right? Okay. And when you say people are underrating Nas, you're completely correct in that part. Because what you have to witness is, think about even back to not too long ago, 75, when I made the 90s rappers need to get out of here. The ever controversial statement, right? What do people say? Well, you have to remember, in the 90s, these guys didn't have, they couldn't drop with the frequency that a Benny drops, that a Conway drops, that a Ransom drops. You know what I mean? So, and which was valid. You know what I mean? I didn't have those people there to debate that. I think Sin might have made that point, but that's valid, right? So I think what people have to give Nas the credit for is seamlessly getting with the wave of the highest competition. You know what I mean? Like, think about it, right? Like, if we think about in this space, right? Not no offense, we team OVO, but not necessarily like the Drake part of the game, but we talk about the bars part of the game, the culture part of the game, the shit, the shit that's really moving shit forward, right? Those artists are dropping all the time, bro. Like Freddie Gibbs give you a joint pretty much every year or every other year. You know what I'm saying? Artists like RJ Payne, you know what I mean? Artists like, Benny and Ransom, like we mentioned, West Side Gun, like West Side, Rome, like people that are in this space and they really impacting on a rap level are moving with this type of frequency. You know what I mean? And I think Nas needs to be applauded because he's like, you know what? They probably do expect me to be like an older rapper, once every few years. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to take shots, but when's the last time Raekwon dropped? I know Busta dropped recently. Before then, how long was the album before that?
Yeah, but none of these guys are doing it in this frequency.
Right, exactly. None of his peers are doing it with this frequency. So I think we have to give him credit because he looks at the competition in his eyes and forgive me, guys. I'm not saying anybody is competition for his spot in the game, but I'm just saying on a competitive level. You know what I'm saying? The people he thinks are doing things good are dropping with this frequency. So I think we got to give him credit for being able to match dudes who came out 20 years after him,
Right. I see what you're saying, and I like the angle that you took. Like, you're looking at it as, instead of looking at it as he's being underrated or is it unprecedented, you're saying that he's in fact dropping a whole new gauntlet for people in the space. He's following the wave of these younger guys who's showing that you can drop frequently and not lose the allure of your release as well as looking at his peer group and saying, where y'all at? I'm putting out these records and y'all still marinating 2-3 years between projects. The local celeb don't even want to rap. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
so it's like,
man, I didn't want to mention him, but yeah.
He's showing that this in fact could be done. For me, it's just like, I just see these people here and they're blown away and they're like, yo, like this is unprecedented, never before seen. We can't believe it. And it's like, this guy is really good at what he does. That's really my angle in this whole thing. I don't believe that it's unprecedented. I think that once they got to the third one, which would have been Magic, the first one, and they did it a third time, I'm no longer surprised. This is like basketball. Were we surprised when Golden State won the second time with Kevin Durant? Were we surprised? We were surprised when they came back and won the fourth ring after the way things played out. Well, I wasn't surprised because I told you privately that if they had all their parts, they're still the best team. They win the championship, and that's kind of how I'm looking at this whole union with Hit Boy. I feel like these two guys, Nas and Hit Boy together, there is no more surprising. There's no such thing as unprecedented because they continue to repeat the same process. You know what I'm saying? If a team wins 67 games, we're going back to Golden State. They follow that up with 73 wins, add Kevin Durant. And then they win 2 straight championships. It had it not been for the sports guys being like, y'all bugging, and they took both KD and Clay away, they would have won 3 straight. You know what I mean? So it's like the best teams are gonna do best team shit. And to me, right now, producer rapper combination, they're the best team, and they're doing best team shit. So this whole narrative that people are running with that is 5 albums in 3 years, 2 different series is unprecedented. No, we are looking at this wrong. Well, y'all, not we. Y'all need to start looking at this as these are the best players in the game, winning the most regular season games, closing series out in 4 to 5 games, and they're doing what's expected of them. This is no surprise anymore. It's the 5th one. Like, what are we talking about?
Nah, Job, you know what? I like where you going with that. Like, were we surprised when at the year after the Bulls went 72-10? I think what they went 69 games the year after that.
Man.
Were we shocked, or did we say this is what Mike's supposed to do?
I understand. And I'll take it a step further, Mace. That was so expected of them that nobody talks about the fact that the 97 Bulls won 69 games. Nobody talks about that. We talk about 72-10. They talk about the 3-peat. They talk about Jordan's last shot pushing off of Byron Russell. But they don't talk about the fact that they followed up 72 with 69, and they would have won 70 had it not been for the Knicks stealing a win in Chicago in the last regular season game of that season. They don't talk about that.
Letting us down.
But they only talk about it. They don't talk about it because it was expected of them. They were the best team.
Right.
Why we never look at it? Why does it always have to be an underdog angle with this particular artist being Nas? Why can't we just look at it as like, yo, he found his guy, and they just basically running laps?
Interesting point. I think that may be because Nas has always struck so hard as an underdog. Pause. You know what I mean? Big pause. Sin level right there. Shouts to my guy. You know what I mean? But like, think about it. You know what I mean? Illmatic in general is an underdog story, right? Like, Queensbridge was done. We know this story. Like, New York, Queensbridge, lyrical rap, all of them were done, and Nas brought them all back. Stillmatic, you know what I mean? And now this King's Disease series in general. So I think people enjoy seeing Nas in that underdog role because he's performed so well there.
Right. I think the biggest story would be if in fact this does drop and this is the drop off. Then we have something to talk about. But going into this and this is unprecedented now, y'all need to look at this as, like, I was around to witness the older rapper. First time ever a rapper at age 50 decided that he at 47 he wanted to come back outside and produce like he was 27. That's the story. Then he did it 5 consecutive times. Basically a dynasty, a late career dynasty.
Got people wondering if this is the real prime, which is insane to me. Like,
Jermaine L. Johnson really believes that. You know what I mean? He's on platform to platform asking this question: Is it his second? This is his third prime. I would say this is all right. I'll drop the gauntlet. This might be the greatest late prime of any musical act, genre for genre. How much old dudes really have really done this? How many old guys who you could say are quote legacy acts are putting out new shit instead of touring and just getting off on their old shit?
like You Rock My World, but you know, even MJ couldn't do it, man. Like, you know, that's the GOAT for real. You know what I mean? Like, so you know, but
keep it. No disrespect. Rest in peace to the GOAT. But
feel me?
we loved you. You know, in the '80s, early '90s, late '70s. That's your peak. When you came back in the early aughts, it wasn't it, man. I'm sorry. Hove couldn't save you either. Honestly, I hated that song. I didn't want to hear Jay-Z rapping with Michael Jackson. I didn't want that shit.
Nah, that wasn't it. Even a young me realized this ain't it when it comes to Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Throw Thriller back.
So let me ask you something before we get out of here. This is a little quick check-in. Do you have any skepticism about what's to come this Friday with this project, bro? Are you nervous that in this short space of time, are they overdoing a good thing? You know what I mean? Are they running it up too much?
Listen, man. I get nervous, you know what I mean? Only because, you know, I'm just a skeptic at heart, like you say. You know, of course I'm like, you know, what if this is the one, right? What if this is the, you know, the drop off? You know, Deanie thinks we got 4 classics, so this not being a classic would be a drop off, right? But listen, you didn't bet against MJ, right? After, like, by the time he got to Utah the first time, he was like, you know, like, maybe kind of bet with this guy. Him and Phil kind of doing what they supposed to do. You know, and that's kind of how I feel about this run. You know what I'm saying? Like, what proof do I have to bet against him at this point? I'd be a dumb man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure the FanDuel line is looking good for Nas right now, bro.
You know what? I can't wait to see what this sounds like. There's whispers that Primo's going to be involved and other people may be involved. 50 Cent features locked in. I'm curious to see what that 50 record is going to sound like. 50 ain't really been outside as a rapper in quite a bit. So to latch on to this King's Disease era, we'll call it, he called his shot with getting that feature as well. So I kind of want to hear 50 rap again. Ja Rule's over there on My Expert Opinion talking about the beef yet again. I can't wait. I hope it's some Queen shit too. I'd like to hear like a Queen's history kind of situation from Nas and 50 on a song, talking from their different perspectives. Southside, Queensbridge. That'd be interesting. A little Ja Rule jab in there. I signed up for that.
Why not?
You know
I'm a 50 guy. You know, before I was Team OVO, I was wearing the jean and tank tops. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to hear this too. And
when I met you
I want to make
Eminem guy. Those were your 2 rappers.
Those is my guy, man. So, but and with that being said, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be better than that Eminem verse on EPMD too. You know what I mean? So
the difference is, I think that 50 understands his position and what this verse means for people of a certain ilk, and the fact that he basically through public lenses asked for this feature. He wanted to be a part of it. I think maybe we finally get. Is it 50 like doing a little get rich or die trying 20-year situation? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he touring right now with you know, Yayo, Uncle Murder, Busta out there with him. You know what I mean? 50 been running up the international bag crazy.
Which means that he's gonna roll out a new album this year, and this is the next leg of his long-winded rollout. The tour, the little trolling on the internet, the Nas feature, and if it hits, there'll be an album. Why not? He keeps saying he's going to retire. Yayo's been doing all these. Yayo's the #1 podcast interview in the world right now.
Yayo, swing through, Yayo. You need that rap round table Yayo interview, man. Like,
as long as he don't treat us, as long as he don't treat us how he treated Math when he came on Math show. He did Math dirty.
You know, listen, we can't.
Shout out to Bigger.
We can't bring up Ice Cube, and I think we might be good. You know what I mean?
I'm bringing up. That's the first question.
As long as you're not on Team Ice Cube, I think you'll be good, man.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, y'all go back to work. We just real quick check in. Magic 2 week. Maybe if something else breaks, if we get the track list, we'll be right back to talk about that as well. We're going to keep tapping in until his music drops. And of course, you know, we do the best reactions in the space. So make sure you pull up. And of course, before you get out of here, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, comment, share it. Go follow us on Twitter, Rap Roundtable PC. That's our Twitter handle. And get familiar as much as possible throughout this time. As you can see, the rappers are coming outside again. They took the first half of the year off. And as the rappers stay outside, of course, we're still looking at you, Pusha T. We need that response. A lot of things are happening, and we'll be here to talk about it. So get familiar with us. Till next time. Peace.
Easy, yeah.